join me in my final form, pajamas. Part of my brain was like, oh, I should probably like put some makeup on, put some nice clothes on, and look presentable, but it wouldn't be authentic because this is how you normally find me, looking like a gremlin in my hoodie. Today I have a nice long-winded video of me finishing the sketchbook page above me. I started that a really long time ago, but I haven't been spending that much time in my big sketchbook. I've been spending a lot more time in my little sketchbook. I call this my shit sketchbook because I can do whatever I want in it. It's got a lot lower bar of entry than that one, so I've been leaning more towards this one and using it more rather than the big one, which I kind of feel like I have to be on my A game for. Haven't felt on my A game, nor have I wanted to sit at my desk, so this is nice and small and portable, whereas this one isn't. But today I sat down at my desk and I finished the page above me, which was nice because half of it was already done, but I don't really talk that much in the actual drawing parts, so I might voice over some of that. But I just wanted to come in and say, hey, looking like an absolute goddess, obviously. So, hello. If someone, by some will of God, is watching, hi, I'm Abbie. I'm almost 30. And I like to draw nice colourful things. I also like to make things. This is nice and long form. I hope that you can maybe get in some body doubling and maybe draw or do something else yourself. Join me as I do something for once. Voiceover Abbie here. I try to avoid going on Pinterest to look at pictures and stuff because, one, I feel like a lot of artists haven't agreed to have that work put on there, and I also find sometimes looking at a bunch of stuff in one place makes it harder to start drawing. However, this day I felt like I should maybe gain a little bit of inspiration, see if I could figure out how I wanted to break the ice, because even though this page was half started, I didn't really know where to begin myself. That's when I came across this really lovely illustration, and God, I wish I'd have seen or tried to find out who drew it, but it's got these lily of the valley flowers in it, and I absolutely love them. They're just the epitome of whimsy in a flower, so I thought, you know, they're relatively simple, they've got a pretty basic shape, that nice sort of sweeping arch of the stem that they grow on, so I thought it'd be a bit of a simple start. So that's what I used. I just sort of went through quite a few pictures just to get them in my brain, and then I turn the screen off so I'm not distracted anymore and get going. Anyone that knows my art in real life, or maybe has ever seen my art posted online, would know that I am the world's biggest fan of highlighters. I love them. They feel so great on a page. They're very reliable and smooth. The ink always comes out really nicely. But I decided to whip out the Crayola Super Tips this day because I wanted an olivey green over the greens that I normally have in my highlighters. You would know that obviously highlighters are normally fluoro or, neon. I have a lot of pastel ones, but nothing with an olivey green tone, and that's kind of what I wanted when I was drawing the stems and the leaves. Am I enamored by how this came out? Absolutely not. Did I enjoy the journey anyway? Yes, which is a lot of the point. I'm not like mad on where these are on the page or whatever, but they served a purpose. Realistically, I just wanted to get going and sort of break the ice in this page, and I did, which was ticking off the goal. You see me change to arguably one of my favourite brands of highlighters here actually, which is the Stabilo Swing Cool, I believe they're called. It's a bit of a weird name. In the UK, when I was back in the middle of this year, I came across a neutrals set, which was incredible. I've never seen them before. We get pastel colours here. You might get, some like different collection of colours, like multitudes of pinks or greens or blues or something, but nothing with greys and browns, and it's got this really nice muted yellow and burnt orangey kind of tone in it. I'm using the off-white sort of like warm grey here. They are so nice. If you've never used these highlighters to draw before or never used them before, I highly recommend them. The quality of the ink is really nice. They work really well on really smooth paper, so like cheap sketchbooks, really love these. The shit one I showed at the beginning particularly enjoys these inks going down on them, so always very, very satisfied. While I'm gushing over some pens I love to use, this one in my hand is a really cheap pale purple, purpley blue kind of colour. It came in a set from Big W of all places. The rest of the colours I'm not enthralled about. There's one other sort of pastel pink peachy tone in there that I use all the time, but this is such a nice shading colour. I'm just trying to add a bit of dimension here by colouring in the back flowers just to add a bit of depth. Kind of polishing a turd, in my own opinion. I move on to do something much nicer when I do the next illustration of like the graveyard, but yeah, just trying to have a bit of fun really. That's the main goal. While I'm watching myself back drawing these, I am reminded of the memory I have attached to them. And I don't know if anyone else is like this. There's just like weird objects or things that are seemingly inanimate that bring back memories. and potentially this one isn't like so nice, but I guess it's like they're kind of a little bit of a symbol of hope for me. Back a couple years ago, I lived in Melbourne and some like pretty nasty stuff happened. Like my whole life kind of got flipped upside down. And I remember dragging myself out for walks. I had no one to talk to or go and visit in person because I'd moved interstate away from like my family and friends. So I would take myself out on walks, and it was just beginning to be spring and I was feeling so awful. But the loop I would go and do would pass by these lily of the valley plants growing on, honestly, probably an ignored corner of someone's garden, and I admired them every single time I went past there. Even in the midst of going through something horrible, there was this tiny little glimmer of like spring and that new life, new start sort of feeling going on around me. So I really ought to do some like substantial art piece probably to do them a bit more justice than scruffily drawing some stars around them in my sketchbook. But hey ho, that's a job for another day, I think. Yeah, I don't know if anyone else has any weird things like that, like a particular plant or just like strange little things that take you back, not in a horrible way anymore as well. It doesn't like make me feel like traumatized. It's just like a novel feeling there, still left over. After that, I feel suitably warmed up and I head into a nice illustration of, honestly, a graveyard scene, but the depth of the layers of things at different distances was really, really nice in the original picture, so I wanted to try and replicate that. So I'm just going to leave myself to it like I did when I drew, and I'll be back with you a little bit later. I had so much fun here using the different saturated layers of greens, moving through more yellowy tones towards more bluey tones. And then I stopped here and I added in some lines with a fine liner. I believe this is a Stabilo one, no, Stapler one, I'm lying, just to highlight the details. But I really love how this came out. I'm really happy with it. And I'm left with, here's the original picture. It's so lovely. The depth is so nice. I'm left with a bit of an awkward corner. So I go for something nice and easy. I'm going to draw a little elf looking thing with some sort of leafy crown on and very sweepy swooshy hair. I used to really love doing some sort of overly line arted hair back in the day, and I haven't done that in a really long time, so I decided to go full hog with that idea in this corner just to fill in the last little bit of space and round off the whole thing. Even though I was drawing on the corner of a page here, which makes doing like sweeping lines quite difficult, this was still as satisfying as it always has been to do. If you're someone who enjoys doodling or something like that, this feels very meditative. Just to repeat the lines over and over again, adding a dark one here, a different one there, to try and get things curling over each other is really, really satisfying. You kind of go into, I don't know, you lock in. It feels very mindless, even though you're concentrating at the same time. It feels really good for the brain. And the end result is always really satisfying. I've put a layer of highlighter down under here, which does make these pens feather the teeniest, tiniest amount. The most satisfying way to do this is to do it over something that doesn't make it bleed, or just on the white paper. But please give this a go. It is so enjoyable, even if you just like do sort of like a sweeping motion around a page with a pen and then add in the texture of hair afterwards. It just is so good for your brain. I really, 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 really recommend it. For anyone who is nosy and curious about the cat in the clam on this page, he's also featured again. That is Leo. He is our family cat. He is a very dusty, sandy coloured ginger boy. He is so lazy and so stupid, and we love him so much. There he is, looking like an idiot with his mouse on his back. Very, very loved. Very loved. Sweet boy. I hope you enjoyed joining me for a little bit of sketchbook time. I actually quite like the way this page turned out. The original half is me drawing from my camera reel, because I feel like it's really easy to just go, oh, I'm Pinterest. But I thought, you know what, we all take a million pictures, so why not actually make use of some of them. However, I have immediately gone back to Pinterest on this side, but just to, like, you know, spark some things in the brain. I really like how the sort of graveyard scene came out. I think I did the perspective quite well, and I quite like the style of it. I always used to do really detailed hair like this. I used to really enjoy doing that back in the day, and I don't really do it anymore. So this was super fun. And yeah, it's just some Lily of the Valley. Yeah. So hopefully maybe you feel like you want to go and draw something, or want to go and do something. I would love for you to finish this video. I would love you to finish this video. Full stop. Tangent. I was making my breakfast just before, and I was thinking, damn, I miss blooper reels. Blooper reels, like at the end of videos or at the end of movies. More so movies is what I'm remembering it from. A step above that, animated blooper reels at the end of movies. I can picture the Shrek one in my mind. I think it might be like Shrek 2 had blooper reels. Yeah, I think I'm right. At the end, making your animators animate blooper reels is great. I love a blooper reel. Thanks for joining me for that TED Talk, but I would love for you to feel like you want to go off and draw something. Maybe you drew with me, thanks. Maybe you clicked off of this at like the 30-second mark, also thank you, at least you clicked on it. But yeah, do something, draw something. Maybe you say I'm not artistic, I don't care, grab a pen and a bit of paper out and have a little bit of a doodle. Yeah. Thanks for joining me though. Put this back in its spot. I made this little cozy corner recently when I bought this new chair from Kmart. Shout out Kmart. Just with the intention of sitting here and drawing, or like doing puzzles or reading or something. But I think it actually looks quite cute when I sit here and waffle on. So I'll stop waffling on now, and I'll let you leave and do something lovely with your day. Thank you for joining me, and I hope you had fun, and I hope you have a lovely day, and hopefully I'll catch you in the next one.